I'm Myckena Guerrero with the Solano College Sports Network, and this is another episode of On Campus. Today I'm joined with Tommy Gachis. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So kind of explain your story and how you ended up here at Solano.
It's kind of a long story, but
that's good.
We'll get into it. I actually I went to Wilsey Wood over in Vacaville, and I grew up there. And I went to Sac State right out of school, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I was taking a bunch of classes and wasting a bunch of money.
Stingers up?
Yeah. I was like, I need to get out of here, so I came to Solano. And I started here at Solano, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Ended up actually taking some time off to work, and I was working doing like lighting and sound and stuff like that for concerts. And I ended up going back to school because I wanted to get a degree. And I took Greg Poff's speech class. And I was like terrified of public speaking at the time, and did one of my speeches, and he was like, at the end of the class, he's like, "Hey, I need to pull you back here." And I'm like, "All right." So I'm like, "What did I do now?" I was like, "Go back to school," and I thought I was in trouble. And he's like, "How would you like to help me out with setting up a sports broadcasting class?" He's like, I have a camera and a mixer, and all I have before this was a tape player, so we need to figure something out. And he's like, "If you help me out, we'll make this work." And I was like, "All right." So I went along with that, and I started advising them on equipment purchases and stuff like that, and using the stuff that we had here previously and just this mismatched board of stuff to set up the sports broadcasting program. And it was, I don't know if you've seen the pictures before, but it was a terrible mess of equipment. We somehow made it work. And I went on from there, and he kind of took over the program and started teaching all the kids and stuff. And I think you guys are a CTE program now, which is really cool. But from there, I ended up going to Butte College and then to Chico State.
Okay.
And I graduated from Chico State with a degree in communications design and an option in media arts, I think. So it's all film and radio and television production stuff. From there, I got a job with the San Francisco Giants.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy because I sent out an application to probably like 50 people, and I only heard back from them.
That's the only person you heard back from?
Yeah. And so I started working for them, and I actually went for another position, and they ended up filling it, but they liked me so much, they were like, "Hey, we have an internship position."
Okay.
And they were like, you're a little more qualified than that, but we'll put you on as that. So I started as that, but then both of my bosses, one of which had been there for like 9.5 years, who like built the whole brand and their whole imagery, he left. And they all left, and so I was reporting directly to the vice president of marketing. And he really didn't know, what to do. He had never really opened up programs. It was all like project management. So I became the interim executive producer for the rest of the season of the 2016 season. So I was working with like Lego and Virgin America and all those guys, creating commercials, multi-deal cross-branding. And that's what you saw, all the in-park advertisement, commercials online and on TV. I was making those and all the still stuff. And then in between there, I'd worked like with Coach's Aid and a bunch of other random stuff. And then I've come back here, and I decided to start a business, and I asked Poff if he wanted to join in that. And we started an advertisement business. And so I'm essentially doing the same thing I was doing for the Giants, except for other companies now. So I make commercials for them, do pictures, build websites, manage mobile applications, stuff like that, and kind of do the same thing for a bunch of different areas.
So you always had a passion for equipment?
Yeah, pretty much, technology.
What kind of got you into that? Because it's kind of like random,
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, my dad's always been really technical. Both my parents worked at the Berkeley lab, so they'll have like random computers or other stuff at the house, and I would just take them apart. And then they never go back together, right? But I'd take them apart. And then I also liked lights and sound. I liked music for some reason. So
did you ever think about like engineering or anything like that?
I thought about it, but I hate math. So,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I was like, well, what else can I do? And I was like, well, I like flashy things. I can like plug things in. So that's where we're at now.
So working with the Giants, do you have any like cool stories, maybe with some players or anything like that?
I mean, I've seen most of the team unclothed, which is not something I want to see, but I'm asked about often. There's a lot of random stuff. They're a bunch of big kids. They're like, it's a lot of random things.
Normal people.
They're normal people, but they're children with a lot of money, and they run around, and they're really good at one thing, and that is baseball, or and I feel like that's a lot with a lot of athletes.
Who was kind of like your favorite player?
Buster Posey. It's pretty funny. Like I said, with the players, we were shooting a commercial with Brandon Crawford, and it was with a Lego bat. And he was like, oh, I got to change real quick. And I thought, oh, okay, we got to leave while he changes. No, he just drops everything right there. I'm like, oh. So I look away, and as I'm looking away, we have our camera set up on him, right?
Oh.
Buster Posey is behind our camera, and he's like, hey, do you guys want me to film this? And I was like, oh, he's joking. I come to find out later on, he had actually filmed, my boss let him film some of the commercials. So he knew how to use that camera, and he wasn't joking. He was like, I'm going to film him and put it out there.
No way. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, he's a jokester. There's a couple of those on the team.
Oh, my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but a lot of people are, I mean, like I said, they're a bunch of big kids, but they're down to earth, most of them, yeah.
And so Pop was telling me that your uncle works for Fox Sports?
Yeah, so that's kind of how, when I was first starting here and figuring everything out, I called my uncle because he had taken me along to some of the Fox Sports stuff. He does, he works on the mobile trucks and he does graphics. So all the time you see for like football and baseball, and actually now he's doing stuff for the Golf Channel as well. Oh, wow. All the graphics that you see on TV, he's changing those live.
No way.
So, yeah, in most every game.
Super cool.
So I called him and he was like, let me put you in touch with a couple of producers and directors and board operators and stuff. And I asked them, you know, here's the equipment I have, what can we kind of do? And they've guided me like ever since. I've been able to talk to them and figure really things out. Yeah, very helpful. So I guess that put things together with me too.
Yeah, very big help probably.
Yeah, I would have had no idea. I still have no idea, but yeah, it helps.
You said that you did some TriCaster training though, right?
Yeah, I was here because I advised them that's what we should do is move towards the TriCaster because, like I said before, that picture of gear that we had was probably like 11 monitors and some terrible like graphics processor from the 80s putting up stuff. And, yeah, it was crazy. I mean, when we did replays, we had literal tape decks where we would like physically slow them down to show replays. Yeah. So the TriCaster did all that in one. And I was like, we need this. And so when they did the training, I would just sat in on that and kind of learned. And then I helped implement the training, I think, in that.
And what other kind of training have you done?
I also am Avid 7 certified, so in post-production stuff, which is really terrible to get. And then I also just did a class, which is called, from a company called Barco, and it's an E2, which is their product. And it's essentially like the TriCaster, but for bigger productions, and it does like multi-projection screen blends for big concerts, like when you see the screens out there. It either blends the LED walls or it blends the projection screens as well as multi-camera use, and you can mismatch the outputs and stuff. And so I just took a 3-day training course with them out in Sacramento.
Can anyone take the training, or do you have to have like a certain level of experience?
Anyone can take the training. It's $1,800 though, which is terrible. But again, I had a meeting with them because of my uncle, and I showed them my resume, and they got it approved because of my background. Oh, yeah. So they paid for it. And I was like, okay. It was the same thing with school. It was like I wasn't going to go to school unless it was cheaper for me to do. So I would never have done that training if it wasn't paid for.
So you've done a lot of stuff for post-production, kind of behind the scenes. Have you ever done anything like in front of the camera or broadcast or anything? The
onnie stuff that I've done that way is I'm a musician. So I play. Yeah, I've played in a band. Cool. So we've played like, I guess the biggest gig that we've done was at the DeVille.
Where?
The DeVille in Vacaville, where just recently I think Papa Roach filmed their music video there. And they've done a couple concerts there and benefit shows, and so we did an opening show there. And so I've played in bands every once in a while. That's as far out.
Are you a singer, or what do you?
Play guitar, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to be the front man.
You should have brought your guitar.
Oh, no.
That would have been cool.
Next time.
Okay,
next time,
for sure. So tell us kind of about your company.
Okay, so our company is James Thomas Media, which was named after my grandfather. So my name's Thomas James, and he's James. Yeah, it gets really confusing. We should probably change the name, but anyway, I kind of came up with the idea after being in college and kind of looking at what my skill set was and what I could provide, and I was seeing the transition from everything was print advertisement and everything was moving to digital. Yeah. And you kind of look around now, like almost billboards are irrelevant because everybody, even while they're driving, is looking at their phone,
right?
Yeah,
we're not looking up there.
Yeah, so unless it's implemented within the same thing that you're viewing it on, then it doesn't work. And a lot of these companies that are around are run by older people, and they don't understand the shift to digital. And so I do, but I also want to implement, their background and what their product is and everything else and understand that as well. So that's essentially what we're trying to do, is take companies that are kind of in the dark, bring them into the digital age, and provide them with content in a visual medium instead of just text or something, where it's actually going to show up on people's phones or however they want that to implement.
Well, the commercials you guys have are super cool.
Oh, thank you.
Do you do them like all by yourself?
It depends on the job. So we've worked with other contractors before, and we have a network of people that we can pull from, and we can do anything up to 6K with a red. And we've had help before, you know, with other equipment to make really big productions. But we can do anything down to just me too, and do a small thing. Outside of that, though, we also build websites, and we can do like kind of mobile application stuff to a degree. And so that way we can kind of make a really nice looking website, implement it with the content that we produce, but then also distribute it. That's the other problem that people run into. What I see is that someone older, you may make them a video, but they have no idea where to put that now, right? So we can distribute it out and target certain demographics and audiences on either social media or paid searches and stuff like that to bring that up to.
So is your audience kind of like all ages? Well,
it depends on the business. So you know, whatever their product is, whoever they're really trying to reach, that's who we're going to go after. And digital marketing makes it really easy to do that now, and it's not as expensive.
What is your ultimate goal for the company? Like, where do you see your company in 5 years or so?
I would love to see it grow to the point where we can hire on a team of people who are dedicated within their certain spots. Because right now I have to, you know, go from the salesperson to the content producing person to the distributor and final output. And it would be nice to be able to just kind of wear the hat as a CEO or something and kind of drive the team of people that focus on those particular things. And give people some jobs, which would be cool.
True. Yeah. Well, Tommy, what advice do you have to give to people that want to get into this business?
Just keep doing. I think that you got to take every opportunity that you have, because this field is not just get a job and then slack off. It's saying yes to every opportunity that comes along and networking. So meeting more people is the best advice that I can give someone just on that base level. But then also, don't feel obligated. This is going to sound bad, but don't feel obligated to get a full-on degree. There are certain fields like what we implemented here with the CTE program where you can get something, a technical certification within that field, and then go and make your connections, because those are going to be more important as long as you have the baseline of knowledge. That's my thought on it.
And okay, so what is the website that we can find you guys on?
You can go to jamesthomasmedia.com. And that'll have all of our information, all of our contact stuff. You can find us on, I believe we're on Facebook and Instagram too. Same handle. So.
Do you have like YouTube, or can you find you on YouTube? Like your commercials and stuff?
All the commercials are on the website.
Oh, they're on the website.
Yeah, and you can see that. Yeah, and we're about to bring out another demo reel, so we'll have another culmination of products that we did this year too.
Okay, that'll be really cool.
I hope so.
Well, thanks, Tommy, for joining me here today. It was nice to get to learn more about you.
Thank you. Thanks for interviewing me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. This has been another episode of On Campus. I'm Myckena Guerrero, and we'll see you next time.
If you have an interest in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether it's behind the scenes or on camera,
then this is the class for you.
Class is held every Wednesday from 1:30 to 4:30 in room 121 alongside the library building.
For more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
We hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
it's more than just sports. It's an education.